Hey, this is Jesse from Jess of All Trades. I'm back again here with my 1998 Z28 Camaro. It's got a 6-liter with a Vortex supercharger in it. And what I'm going to be talking about today is basically the eBay. It's kind of like a Chinese knockoff 102mm throttle body. It's basically like a wannabe of the fast throttle body. Before last time I was talking about the 92mm on my GTO, and here in this case on my 6-liter we've got a 102mm throttle body. That's going to be the unit right there. Mine shipped in pretty nice. It had a few little dings on it when it came in from shipping, but they gave me a little bit of a credit on it, and I got a little bit of a discount on it, so it worked out pretty good. But that's the huge 102mm throttle body, as you can see. Open that blade up for you guys. I still need to port match my LS2 intake to match it a little bit, and I'm going to get on to a few things about how to make it work properly on here. I talked about this in the past on the same company, the same throttle body in the 92mm. You have to reclock the TPS. The TPS, the clocking is a little off on it the way they're designed. That's one of the flaws. That's what you get for getting a knockoff. But for the money, you know, for around $100 shipped, you know, it is what it is. What I do is I shave the ears off my TPS, and then that way I can reclock it. If you measure it with a voltmeter, you can get it around, you know, say 45 to 0.5 volts at idle, and then you'll get a good sweep, so you'll get a good full throttle pull out of it. You know, other than that, one of the other things is there's a little bit of air shear from the IAC, so they do run a little noisy, and some guys poured out the entrance to the IAC valve to get the throttle body just idle quieter. A couple of the little tricks to getting them working, and in my case, this is another thing with the 102mm, is that there's interference on the top ear of the water pump and the bottom of the throttle body. So in that case, you can either grind the very top of the water pump to clear, or depending on how in love you are with the throttle body, you could grind a little bit off of the bottom of that to clear it. You know, most people would probably choose to grind a little bit off the top of the water pump. So there is a clearance issue there, getting the 102mm to fit. And on my LS2 intake, there's a little bit of a lip on the intake there where I need to port match it, because the 102mm throttle body is big enough to the point that that's a little bigger than the opening of the LS2 intake that I'd swapped onto here. As you can see, I got billet fuel rails on there. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in the next episode, and I'm going to go a little bit more into detail about the Camaro itself, which will ultimately be going back to the dyno soon to get tuned. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. You also, a couple other things to point out. You also have to bypass the coolant lines. You know, there's no coolant lines running through it, so you got to do the coolant line bypass. And in my case, I have a throttle bracket adapter because I have an LS2 intake. But on people that are already drive-by-wire on their intake, you wouldn't need the throttle bracket. But in my case, I have one. But it's a pretty nice piece. Definitely a little more top end out of it. You know, with the bigger throttle body, you know, it'd probably need to be tuned. Right now, I'm not running my mass airflow meter hooked up. I'm running off just the map, and I'm gonna be going to like a full speed density tune in my case. And so it's a big enough throttle body that makes the airflow is significantly different. So you know, it's not something that you'd probably want to just switch from a regular size throttle body over that without also getting the car tuned. So hopefully we'll have the car on the dyno soon, see what she puts down, and hopefully be having the drag strip in the spring. So, but again, the eBay Chinese 102mm throttle body, billet, and you know, you decide. It's pretty good bang for the buck, but those are some of the modifications and little tricks that have to be done in order to make it work properly. So that's pretty much about it, and we'll see you guys with an update next time.